Hello everyone and welcome to day number 7 of the Highway to Hell Gas vs. Electric Car Tournament. Here is our first group. It is a Tesla, a Pininfarina, an Audi, and a Porsche. All familiar types of cars we've seen in other races, although the Porsche seems to be a slightly different design than what I'm used to. Doesn't seem quite as aerodynamic as some of the other ones, but maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. We'll see. Right now though, it is the Tesla out in front. The Audi is not too far behind, and despite that big turn, the Tesla does have a slight lead still, but the Audi is right behind him. Let's see if the Tesla can stay straight through that final stretch. He kind of does, but the Audi actually pulls out in front of him, taking the win from him at the last second. And they finish with about a 1.45, which isn't terrible. Again, you want to stay at the very most in the 14-second area. Anything more than that and you could be in trouble later. But the Porsche actually does finish in 3rd and the Pininfarina in 4th. So we have a good start for the Audi. Let's see if he can hold on to that. So I know a lot of people have been saying how they don't want to keep seeing Teslas win, and if anybody can do it right now, it appears to be the Audi. We'll have to see if that remains true with each lane that they race in. Right now, the Tesla is ahead, but the Audi has shown that he can quickly catch up, as he's doing right now, and he has the tighter turn. Can he take advantage of that? Almost. He's even closer to the Tesla than he was the first time. They go into this final stretch. The Tesla goes sideways, losing a lot of speed, but he kept the Audi from passing him that time. So now they're going to be even, and the same thing can be said for the Pininfarina and the Porsche, who have also swapped positions in 3rd and 4th respectively. A 14.8 still in the 14-second area, but you want to be a little bit faster than that based on the competition we've seen. So at this point, with how it's gone for the first 2 races, it's essentially anyone's game still. But the two to watch out for are our 2 red vehicles, the Audi and the Tesla. They're already pulling away in this first turn. Yeah, really, they don't seem to have much competition from the other 2, which is kind of surprising. Because we've definitely seen some Porsches and Pininfarinas do well before, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. Meanwhile, the Tesla is once again out in front. They skid sideways. I'm not quite sure if the Audi took the lead at the last second, but that Tesla is having difficulty remaining straight. Let's see what kind of time that was. 14.4, that's pretty good, but I'm not entirely sure who won. Let's see who the points are given to. It was the Audi. The Audi actually got the lead there. So the Tesla has some work cut out for them if they want to get the win here. Going into the 4th race now, it looks like the Tesla will be moving on alongside the Audi. It's just a matter of who wants to take that top spot. Obviously they both do, but only one of them can ultimately do that. Right now they're neck and neck, but the Tesla does have the tighter turn, takes a little bit of an advantage of that, and at the very least is looking to tie this up. Going into that last turn, the Tesla does remain straight this time, so the Tesla and the Audi will both be moving on with a tied score. Meanwhile, the Porsche and the Pininfarina, despite their best efforts, they fall short. So let's see, 14.1, they're getting closer and closer to that 14-second mark. But so far, they haven't quite been able to cross it. So congratulations to the Tesla and the Audi. Now let's move on to our second group. It is the Mustang, a Tesla, a Viper, and a Nissan. Now up to this point, we haven't had too many Vipers. In fact, if I recall correctly, we've only ever had one. So let's see if this Viper can do any better than the last one. So far it looks like they are, because they're staying out in front for the moment, but here comes the Nissan, rapidly getting the lead with that tight turn, expanding said lead, and the Viper is following close behind. Going into this final turn, the Viper is spinning out of control, trying to hold on to second place, but he skids again, and it looks like the Tesla was able to steal second place away from the Viper. On the other hand, it looks like the Mustang didn't even finish. Somehow it looks like they popped off the rail a little bit and couldn't even get into that last turn. not very good, but hopefully since that was the widest turn, they'll have a better experience with the other 3 legs of this race. So not a good start for the Mustang, but that doesn't mean they're done yet. The Nissan is looking pretty good, but now they're going to have that wide turn in this next race here. So if they want to have a decent chance at a win in this particular race, they'll want to try and get as much of a lead as they possibly can. And here comes the Viper and the Tesla again. Let's see. Yep, in that big turn, the Nissan did lose a bit of speed, and because of that, they're falling behind. Meanwhile, the Tesla is out in front with the Viper right behind. The Tesla loses control, and they're fighting. Seriously fighting for that. But once again, the Viper can't do better than 3rd. Truly an unlucky break for that driver, because they're definitely holding their own. But somehow, each time, 2nd and sometimes even 1st is stolen away from them. Hopefully the Viper can redeem themselves in this 3rd race, but we'll have to see. So going into this 3rd race now, the Viper has not had the greatest of experiences, but that doesn't mean they can't do something. They've shown they can get down to the end. They just got to make sure that nobody passes them in the process. Right now, the Viper is out in front, with the Nissan closing in on him a little bit. Now, that big turn is a bit of a killer, but they're still very much in contention. The Tesla does cut in front of them. There goes the Nissan right behind him, and they try to get first, but the Tesla blocks, allowing him to secure the win. And once again, the Viper is just very unfortunate. They always seem to start out well, but somehow 2 racers always seem to pass them, and they finish in 3rd again. So now going into this final race, the Viper still technically has a chance to move on here. In order for that to happen, though, the Viper would need to finish in 1st, while the Nissan would not finish at all. If the Nissan finishes anywhere, regardless of position, it'll be the Nissan moving on with the Tesla, and the Viper, despite their valiant efforts, will not be able to make it. Right now, the Nissan is out in front. Here comes the Viper and the Tesla. The Viper does finally finish in 2nd, but unfortunately, it's just too late at this point, because the Nissan not only finished, but finished in 1st with a time of 14.42, no less. So the Nissan will be joining the Tesla in the finals. So going into the finals here, we have 2 separate Teslas, along with a Nissan and an Audi. This really increases the odds that yet another Tesla will join the 8 racers in the grand finals. So the Nissan and the Audi definitely want to beat those odds and make sure that doesn't happen. Right now, our red Tesla is out in front, but they do have that wider turn, and now the Audi is right next to him in contention, taking the lead. Going into the final stretch, they go through this turn. The Tesla is right behind him, but does not have the speed to take the win from the Audi. This is a great start for the Audi to stop the Teslas from moving on. And unfortunately, somehow the Nissan flipped upside down going into that last turn and was unable to finish. If they wanted to contribute towards stopping the Teslas, they were not able to do it. It looks like they did it on their own too. An absolute shame. So with the Nissan's performance, if there's any way to stop the Teslas, that all lies on the shoulders of the Audi. Unless something absolutely crazy happens, which at this point I wouldn't be too surprised. Because we have seen some crazy events like how the Nissan just flipped upside down in that last race. Right now the Audi does have the lead again, and they have the tighter turn, giving them a bit of an advantage. And the one Tesla is way behind, but the red one is trying to keep up, is unable to do that, and the Nissan finds a way to slow him down. At this point, I think the Nissan knows they don't have the most solid chance to win, so they're just stopping the other Tesla from crossing in front of the Audi. And look at this, somehow that Tesla tried to race on both lanes and got completely stuck. So now the Audi has 2 wins, 1 more, and they can stop the Teslas. And I also want to point out that the Audi did manage to break that 14-second mark there. Just barely, but it's still a big deal. So now, if the Audi can finish here, they will knock out both Teslas, which I'm sure will excite many anti-Tesla fans. They do have the lead right now. They have a wider turn, though. Is that going to help them? No, it is not. In fact, they're slowing down. The Nissan is actually right next to him, but he's letting the Audi pass to increase their chances to stop the Tesla. And look at this! Ladies and gentlemen, both Teslas have been knocked out. Once again, that red Tesla had trouble staying straight. The Audi saw their opportunity, took the win, and is going to ultimately win this leg. So if you were any of those people that didn't want to see another Tesla join the top 8, do not worry. There won't be another one joining this time. At this point, the Audi just wants to get the sweep for bragging rights, but they can breathe a little bit easier knowing that the 2 Teslas have no shot. And with that kind of note in mind, it looks like the Nissan is actually trying a little bit harder just to stick it to the Teslas, but because of that wide turn, they fell behind there. And the Audi's trying to get first. So far they can't, and the red Tesla managed to block them, but at this point, it just does not matter anymore. The Audi will be the one moving on. No Tesla here today. And a valiant team effort, it appears, with the Nissan's help. So congratulations to the Audi. We only have 1 spot left. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you for Race 8 of Races and Fun.